Hello, my name is Father Demetri. This week we're working on doing a Bible study for the last few weeks and a few weeks to come. But today, during the preparation for the study in 1 Corinthians, I had read about St. Paul talking about being a master mason, master builder, and preparing, the foundation. And depending on what we use, what the material was, depends on how strong the foundation would be. And also he was talking about being, sort of a gardener and preparing everything like that. So I was thinking about everything. I was thinking about that, and I prepare my notes for the Bible study. And I was thinking about, we understand that, usually we make Jesus the foundation of the church. But really, as I was thinking today, I've been in so many lines of construction. I've worked in pipelining, I've worked in farming, I've worked in ranching, I've worked in a lot of different fields, always outside under the sun. And one of the things that was all in common, if you wanted to build, if you wanted to lay a gas pipeline, it didn't matter what it was, the first thing you always did was prepare the ground. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, the foundation's important, but really it's the ground. It's the ground that needs to be prepared. Even if you're burying it underneath, if you're building on top, one way or another, you have to prepare the ground. Sometimes it's really hard, sometimes it's rocky, sometimes it's soft. It doesn't matter what the ground is. It needs to be prepared for something to be built on top of it. Recently, I had a friend of mine, and he was living in this trailer park area, and he was living in a really nice double-way trailer. And when the developers leveled the ground, what they didn't do was take all the debris out from underneath the ground. They had logs and they had some trees and different things that they just plowed over and then built houses on top. And then soon, when the rain started coming and when the trees started to rot and decompose, they started to sink, and it was pretty scary for them. I mean, I had gone over and seen the house. The pad that usually sits 2 or 3 inches above the ground that the air conditioner was standing on was actually below the ground level. So even though the ground looks level, it has to be prepared. It's important. And that's really, I believe, in my opinion, what Jesus does. Is what Jesus did and does continually is that he came and he prepared the ground. Death was something that was permanent. There was nothing after death. It was just what some people feel was just a shovelful of dirt on the face. But really what Jesus did was he came and he prepared the ground. He prepared the tomb. He prepared the ground. He made the way. And I think about St. John the Baptist saying, "Make way the straight of the Lord." Again, he was preparing the ground. And God, when he came, he conquered death. He took death over and he saved us because he prepared the ground. And when he did that, it allowed the people like St. Paul that wrote the 1 Corinthians and a lot of the letters in the New Testament. St. Paul did something where he was building the foundation of it. God leveled the ground. He prepared the way. He made what everything was possible. And St. Paul and a lot of those guys, the disciples, St. Peter, they were the ones that were making the foundations of the early church, and it had to be strong. And we have letters that we appreciate today. We read the scriptures, and it's something that the blood of martyrs has given us. And today, a lot of us, myself and a lot of the people that I know, we're all Orthodox Christians, and the Orthodox and the Catholic Church and a lot of the early churches that have been around for 2,000 years, the mortar has been blood and sweat and tears to keep our faithful and to keep the church intact. And through the grace of God, we've been able to survive this many years. But it all came down originally to preparing the ground. The ground had to be set. The ground had to be prepared. We, the church, laid the foundation, and people for centuries have been building on top of that foundation, building up the walls. But I don't think there's any sort of roof up there yet. I think it's continuing to build and build and build until we get to the point where Jesus comes back, and then it'll finally be completed. But this building's a never-ending building, because originally the Tower of Babel was a human effort trying to make that tower go all the way up into heaven. But now the church, we build, and every year and every century and every moment of time that goes by, and the people that sacrifice their lives, the people that die and go to their graves willingly, we just continually build and build and build until one day we get to reach that point where we can step off of the building of the projects that we're in to actually living in the mansions that are already prepared for us. So we got to remember how important it is for us who are priests and pastors, and even for Christians, for all of us, that it is our responsibility to show and teach and be a witness for the gospel, not only in our words, but also in the way we act, the way we conduct our lives, not only out in the public, but even when we're in secret. I don't want to be two-faced. I don't want to be a bigot. I don't want to teach one thing and do something and do that thing behind closed doors. I want, no matter where I am, to be a reflection of Jesus Christ, even if it's just me looking at the reflection in the mirror. So I hope that you're blessed. I hope that you're going to be protected, and I look forward to speaking to you all again. May the Lord be with you, and as always, trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Be blessed.